Hi everyone, Bernard here. I hope you're all staying safe and well, and welcome to the Film and TV channel. And we have a big film review today. Yeah, a big film in the way. We've got a couple of big stars, a big director and a sort of very popular star in it. So today we're going to look at a Guy Ritchie stroke Jason Statham film. We're going to have a look at a film called Wrath of Man. Please, if you're new to the channel, push that subscribe button. I try and inform and entertain you various information on these films, what other people are thinking, what the background is, etc, etc. Plus I add my own views as well, so if that's of any interest to you in that sort of thing on these film reviews, please push that notification button as well. I do lots of stuff on film and TV, including information vlogs on what's out to buy and what's coming to the UK cinema, etc, etc. And you will also see some stuff on my football team, Manchester City, as well. So if that's of any interest, have a look at that. Or if you can point someone in my direction, do lots of City stuff, City history, City present, City quizzes, lots of stuff there. But it's film and TV today, and if you like more information, I do post loads of stuff on film and TV on my Twitter and Facebook channels, so the links are on screen. So if you're interested, please follow or friend me on there, and I will reciprocate. I do check every 2 or 3 days and follow and friend everyone back. All comments and comments are very welcome on this Wrath of Man. Let me know what you think of it, and of course, if you've no time to give us a comment, just give us a little thumbs up. It's nice to know you're out there. It's nice to get views, but it's nice to know you're actually out there as well. So if you can do that for me, that'd be fantastic. All right, Wrath of Man, yeah, 118 minutes, so just under 2 hours. A few credits involved, so probably knock about 10 minutes off that. It's out now in the US and other territories, but the sad news for us here in the UK, it's actually not at the pictures or the cinema until the 23rd of July 2021. So I've been fortunate enough to see this already, but we have to wait till the 23rd of July here in the UK. But is it worth the wait? That's what we want to find out, isn't it? Action thriller directed by Guy Ritchie, of course, as mentioned from a script. He co-wrote with Ivan Atkinson and Man Davis. It's based on the 2004 French film Cash Truck. Yeah, that scores 6.7 out of 10 on Internet Movie Database. That was by Nicholas Boukrieff. So I wouldn't particularly watch that before you know, obviously now, but because I think it does stick fairly well to the plot. It's Ritchie's fourth directorial collaboration, of course, with Jason Statham, and his first since Revolver back in 2005, 16 years ago, quite a long time. It also stars Holt McElhaney, Jeffrey Donovan, Josh Hartnett, Laz Alonso, Chris Riley, Raul Castillo, Diobio Operey, Eddie Marsan and Scott Eastwood. And the plot follows a guy called H. Yeah, nothing to do with Line of Duty. It's not this bloody Buckles character, that's for sure. It's not Buckles. I'm not going to do the accent. I can't do it. It's not this Buckles guy, but there's another H in this, so nothing to do with Line of Duty. A cold and mysterious character, this H, working at a cash truck company responsible for moving hundreds of millions of dollars around LA each week. Yeah, it's something. It's not a plot line I've seen much of. I mean, you see these sort of places get attacked, don't you? These cash trucks, but you don't really see the story behind what they're up to and where they go and what they do. I never really thought about it that much, but yeah, so it's quite interesting on that by that point of view. How's it doing? What the critics saying? What the public saying that have been fortunate enough to see this? Rotten Tomatoes, yeah, 169 reviews in total. It's getting a 67% approval rating, not fantastic, and an average rating of just 6.2 out of 10, just so slightly above that 6. The actual they have little sections, don't they, Rotten Tomatoes, where they have the main critics and they have all critics, and the bigger critics, if you like, the more well-known critics, actually a bit down on that. That's it. They're a little bit less than that as well, so that's quite interesting. But it's got 113 fresh reviews, which is fine as on Rotten Tomatoes, but it's got 56 rotten, so almost 2/3, 66 to 33%. So there's a lot of negativity. But the site's consensus reads, wrestling just enough stakes out of its thin plot, Wrath of Man sees Guy Ritchie and Jason Statham reunite for a fun, action-packed ride. So not a total disaster. But the audience slightly disagree. A lot of reviews, over 1,000 people have commented or scored, and it's a 91% positivity as far as the audience are concerned. So that's pretty good. That's what we want to see. On the other critic site, we have a look at Metacritic. It's got an average of 57 7 out of 100. So again, as I said, similar to the main critics on Rotten Tomatoes, that score. So a little bit less than the magical 60 out of 100 that I like to see. And that's based on 33 critics. 18 gave it a positive review, 11 gave it a mixed review, and 4 gave it a negative review. So again, still positive and mixed outweighs the other. But the actual guys on Metacritic, the actual critics themselves, which we like to look at, so a couple of favourites of mine here that I always have a look at and see what they think. It scores anywhere between 42 out of 100 and 88 out of 100. The lowest score is from Leah Greenblatt. I have used her stuff in the past. Entertainment Weekly. She only gave it 42 out of 100, and she said Raph is just another loose bag of lizard brain thrills and wood block dialogue. Too ugly to be camp, too grimly familiar to feel new. So not very good. The Guardian's Benjamin Lee, he gave it 60 out of 100. He was a bit more impressed. Ritchie mostly moves his mixed bag of pieces around the board with flair, showcasing his well-rehearsed knack for gnarly violence and chaos, giving us a sinewy B-movie that warrants a watch on a bigger screen than the one in our homes. Another welcome shot of adrenaline for us and for the industry. I'm craving my next dose already. So there you go. Possibly summed up best by the last review from, again, not the highest review, but I thought Movie Nation's Roger Moore, who we do quote quite a lot, he gave it 63 out of 100. And he said, Rafford Man passes muster for its mayhem and mise en scene, a good-looking but unfussy film that may not work its flashbacks in as gracefully as you'd like. It probably doesn't. Breaks into chapters that do nothing for its flow, again, probably doesn't, yet makes its violence and vengeance as grimly gripping and visceral as any Ritchie had put on screen. Internet Movie Database, Joe Public, you, me, the public. As I'm recording this, the scores will be up later. But as I'm recording this, 3,436 scores and reviews have been left on Internet Movie Database. As I said, this is Joe Public, who were they as impressed as the Rotten Tomatoes audience? Well, no, not bad at all. 7.4 out of 10, so very much higher than we're getting from the critics. 7.4 out of 10. Right, on to my thoughts on this one. Little bird's thoughts. As you can see from the score, the views are generally positive on the Joe Public on the Internet Movie Database. Some of the poor reviews are constructive, and this film doesn't really hit them at all of the time. And most criticism is coming from comparisons, I think, with the other previous Guy Ritchie's efforts, which I think they're making a comparison with, which is fair enough. But at the end of the day, this film has to be judged on what it is alone, I think. I do like Guy Ritchie films, of course I do. I like the little bits and pieces, I like the humour in it, I like the twists, I like the way they were put together. But this isn't one of his cleverest, it pretty much goes back to the old standard, if you like. Someone quoted a B-movie there, didn't they? But this is a little bit more than a quality B-movie action thriller in my mind, but it does go back to action thriller basics. And it is a good enough addition to that genre, to be honest with you, even without all the bells and whistles perhaps we have expected from Ritchie over the years. There are one or two small twists. There's an obvious things as well that you think, oh yeah, I think I know what that is. But there are a nice one or two small twists, probably come around from the sort of flashbacks and shifting time that come, time shift pieces in this film. And that's the thing. Although you know, I'm knocking on a bit now, as you can probably tell. I'm not a spring chicken anymore, so I did have to work a little bit to get my head around a couple of the time and perspective shifts which there are in this. But it's one of those things that if you watch the film properly and concentrate and you don't go on your phone and have a look round, I mean, you can easily get distracted, and then you look back at the film, or even in a movie theatre, perhaps you just get, you know, go for a bag of sweets or something, and you may look back and something odd is going on the screen because it's suddenly shifted in time and you've not realised. So that's the problem. So you do have to sort of watch it carefully and gauge when this time perspective change has happened, and then you think, as I say, it can be a bit of a mishmash at times, and not done as well perhaps as it could have been. But there you go. I mean, that's just a small criticism in my mind anyway. I mean, if you like Statham and this type of film, not sure what this hasn't got to appeal to people who like action thrillers and like Jason Statham, to be honest with you. It's follows all the sort of normal formulaic things that an action thriller does. A heist movie, if you like. And obviously someone compared it to Ocean's 11. meets something else. I can't remember what it meets now, but yeah, it's sort of a heist movie with plenty of murder and carnage in it, so there you go. Perhaps not on the same level as other Statham Ritchie collaborations, of course it isn't, but it's certainly enough to be going on with it. It was something I looked forward to, and it didn't totally disappoint. I thought it was okay. There's not a lot of backstory to the characters, but it is a film about the here and now. You're not really told about how we got into this position as far as family connections, etc., etc., and what other people, what characters have been up to in the past. Obviously, it's a here and now film with over a few months sort of scale, but it can be silly at times. It does push the realms of believability. Of course, it does. It has a lot of uninteresting characters, I'd say. There's a lot of characters thrown into the mix that perhaps could have been developed more, but on the basis of what we saw, they weren't that interesting. And Statham's character himself is not overly likable, to be honest with you. We only sort of stick up for him because he's Jason Statham, not particularly the character he's playing. So I think that's perhaps not a good thing, but hey, it keeps you interested in the film if you are a Statham fan. But it's Statham and Ritchie, and more or less it says what it does. You know, it does what it says on the tin, to be honest with you. There's very little humour in this, though. If you like, you do like that sort of quirky humour of Guy Ritchie's films. There's not very much in this. It's quite dark. Yeah, it's not going to have you smiling like you say. You can, in his other stuff, you get violent scenes, but then it sort of makes you smile or laugh as well. But this is very, very dark. There's not a lot of humour in it, which is looking at the reviews not upset a few people, but a few people a little bit disappointed that there wasn't that typical sort of Ritchie humour in it, and I'd have to agree with that side of it as well. But perhaps given, as I said, the early scenario to this and what it's all about, perhaps it's not really meant for humour, is it? This sort of thing. It's just a basic action thriller. Forget the humour elements. So my little score, yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. It was all right. It perhaps didn't live up to my total expectations of a Ritchie Ritchie film. I think it lives up to the sort of Statham films I've seen over the years. It's absolutely, I think that's ideal. As I say, he does have a little less to say in this one than he does in others. That's what I said about sticking up for his character. He's sort of sticking up for Statham as a person rather than the character he's playing. But obviously, that again, just another minor fault. But despite these little tiny faults, it's not going to blow you away like some of their earlier efforts, obviously. But obviously, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I'm going to give it what I would call a very, very watchable, good film. As I said, for the action thriller genre, without being overly complicated. As I said, the time shifts and the different perspectives at times do need you to concentrate on the film a little bit to know what stage you're up to, because obviously there's no change in hairstyles and stuff like this. There's no little clues when it goes back in time, particularly. As I said, there's a chapter thing as well, which doesn't really add that much to it. But I think 7 out of 10 is fair enough. I say certainly not worth any less particularly. I mean, I may have gone to 6.5, but I think for what it is, given the sort of year we've had, etc., etc., and the lack of really good action thrillers, I think this at least adds a sort of good action thriller to the mix, and that's what we want if you like that sort of genre. Anyway, let me know what you think if you get to watch this. What are you going to do the rest? Have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other. Till we meet here again on the Film and TV channel, or perhaps you have a flick across. Have a look at my football channel, my Citizen channel. Wherever it is, or whoever it is, or whatever it is, all I ever ask till we meet again is please stay safe, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.